I feel nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm numb inside. And maybe that's the reason I finally decided to get this off my chest. It's not easy to talk about, but keeping it bottled up inside has been eating away at me. Earlier this year, I became a mother for the very first time. Back in May, I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy with my partner. Along with him, I was also raising his daughter from a previous relationship, a sweet little girl who had started calling me Mommy. Hearing that word from her made me feel whole, like I finally had the family I'd always dreamed of but never truly had growing up. I've worked most of my life, even throughout my entire pregnancy, so suddenly becoming a stay-at-home mom was a huge adjustment. At first, it was incredibly overwhelming. The endless crying, sleepless nights, and trying to balance housework on top of caring for the kids nearly broke me. But little by little, I found my rhythm. My partner worked overnight shifts, so while he was gone, I was in charge of everything: kids, cooking, cleaning, laundry, and even making his lunch for work every single night. One of my main duties was waking him up for his job, and trust me, it wasn't easy. He acted more like a stubborn teenager than a grown man, throwing fits, yelling at me, rolling back over as I tried alarm after alarm. All while I was standing there, exhausted, still stirring a pot of dinner on the stove with one hand and helping the kids get ready for bed with the other. But eventually he'd get up. If he was late, of course, that was somehow my fault. Now I'm not going to sugarcoat this. My partner wasn't perfect. He'd had slip-ups before. I'd caught him flirting with coworkers through texts, and once, just a few weeks before I went into labor, there was a bigger cheating incident. And yet I stayed. Why? Maybe I was desperate to hold on to the picture of family I'd created in my head. Maybe I was scared of being alone. Maybe I thought things would change after the baby. I don't know. And for a short while, things did look better. After our son was born, my partner seemed to step up. He worked harder, got promoted twice in less than a year, and was suddenly bringing home more money than before. His confidence grew, his ego inflated, and I convinced myself we were turning a corner. I continued doing my part, cooking, cleaning, caring for the kids, and of course, waking him for work and packing his lunches. But one night, everything changed. It started like any other night. I was cooking, making his lunch, then heading into the bedroom to wake him up for his overnight shift. But something inside me felt wrong. My gut was screaming at me. I tried to ignore it, told myself I was just being paranoid, but the feeling wouldn't go away. After he left, I put the kids to bed and, as usual, went for my nightly run around the apartment complex. My sister was watching the kids, so I had a little time to clear my head. As I jogged past the far side of the complex, I froze. My partner's car was parked there, not in the employee lot where he always parked for work. No, right there, in front of another building. My heart sank so hard I could barely breathe. Why was his car here? He said he was at work. My hands were shaking as I grabbed my phone to check his location. But his location was suddenly turned off. Convenient, right? Funny enough, sharing locations was his idea in the first place to prove his loyalty to me, and now it was gone. The next morning, he came home earlier than usual. He walked in like nothing had happened, even brought gifts. I could barely look him in the eyes. My chest felt heavy with suspicion. He hopped in the shower like always. That's when I broke. I picked up his phone and looked. And there it was. Text after text with another woman. A young woman who lived right there in our complex. Messages where he told her he was on the way to give her some vitamin D. They had just met the day before. I felt the ground disappear beneath me. He had looked me in the eyes, eaten the food I cooked, kissed me goodbye, only to drive a few buildings away to sleep with someone else. The shower stopped. My body panicked. I quickly put the phone back and pretended nothing happened. He stepped out, smiling, acting normal. I forced myself to act normal too. I even asked him about work. He said it had been an easy night. I bet it was. But my gut wouldn't let it go. The very next night, when it was time for him to leave for work again, I checked his phone beforehand. And sure enough, there it was again. The same lies, the same plans, the same woman. This time, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I decided to play along. I made his lunch extra special. I seasoned everything with far too much salt. I filled his flask with dirty dishwater. I made his beloved sandwiches with spit and old fish grease. Then I kissed him goodbye and said, "I love you," with the brightest fake smile I could manage. Later that night, when I went for my run, I saw his car in the same exact spot. My blood boiled. I snapped. I ran back upstairs to our apartment, grabbed every single disgusting thing I could find, rotten food, dirty diapers, stinking trash he'd been ignoring, and I marched right back to his car. I smeared condiments all over it. Ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise dripping down the windows. I stuffed the inside with garbage, diapers, old tissues, anything foul I could find. I decorated that car like it was my revenge canvas. And then I just stood there, staring at the mess I'd created. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding. I knew this was only the beginning. Because when someone pushes you this far, when they betray you this deeply, what's left inside you starts to break. This wasn't just about cheating. This was about trust, respect, loyalty, all being shattered right in front of me. And at that moment, standing there in the dark with his car covered in filth, I realized something chilling. This is only the start of what happens when you break a person.